Before him there were none, of partners he has none. Before him there were...
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Anyway, it was a nice introduction to the fact that our speaker of today is from the University of Lagos, the one and the only University of Lagos. Now, the word mentor is often overused and is often misused. Those of us who pass through the University of Lagos and who pass through our guest speaker today would appreciate the real meaning of the word mentor, because we were indeed mentored by our guest speaker of today. If you talk about role models, Professor is a role model par excellence. Most of us is students. I was telling him earlier that we are going to need to introduce one. Professor Bidmus, Professor Islamic Education, end of story. Well, you are Professor Bidmus, but to us, you are so many things rolled into one. And the final thing I want to share with you before I call our professor to that table, I was the student representative on the mosque opening committee, mosque building committee, then mosque opening committee. And I used to go and sit down holding meetings about how to build and open the mosque. And this would be Professor Bidmus, Professor Adao, Professor Baramosi, Dr. Jubil Oyekon, and many others. And I was saying to people before now that it was the first time that I was part of a committee, and for the entire life of that committee, I did not contribute a groat. I'll just come back, and then when I face the MSS, I'll be telling the MSS, we have decided, and then it was through that committee that I even got to know, as a young 20-year-old student, it was through that committee I remember that I got to know that ministers were actually senior in rank to governors. Then, because we were doing the schedule of who to invite and who to call first and who, and then I remember it was Dr. Oyekon who said that he showed one thing led to the other, and he said that ministers are higher in rank, and I was like, oh, so ministers are higher in rank. Now, we have amongst us today from the University of Lagos, our father, our sheikh, our mentor, the chief imam of the University of Lagos, Professor of Islamic Education, Professor Moritada Bidmus. Inshallah, the topic of today, as circulated, is striving for excellence and learning from the best. We don't know how Professor is going to interpret it, but that is the subject we have sent out. And today we have, alhamdulillah, one of the best and most humble amongst us to treat this topic. Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى عاقبة للمتقين. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Of course, I must express my delight and appreciation to come and share with you this morning your dhikr or Usrah session. If you know how much I feel comfortable and happy anytime I'm invited to a gathering like this, you will appreciate also how I feel pained whenever I will not be able to honor an invitation to this type of place, because when you invite us to come and talk like this, it's an opportunity to meet brothers and sisters and share ideas. If something is going to stand between me and honoring that invitation, I feel very uncomfortable and pained. So it's always my desire to come to a gathering such as this. Because in Islam, we are told that وَلَا ذِكْرُ اللَّهِ أَكْبَرُ. What we are doing here is the greatest. That is, to remember Allah. Say, Ya Allahu Yahu, 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 Ya Allah, Yahu, Ya Allah, Yahu, Ya Allah, Yahu, Ya Allah. We are told that the Dhikrullah Akbar, as far as I'm concerned, that is my favorite song in my car, in my office. I can never feel lonely. So with that on my lips, it's always on my lips, so that to fulfill that injunction that the greatest thing we can do in life is to remember Allah. So let it be our companion every time, that we don't feel lonely, we just always remember Him. With whatever is a favorite to us, that is my own favorite. I don't know what is your own favorite. Your own can be Subhanallah, wa bihamdihi, Subhanallah. The topic we want to share this morning, perfecting our worship. The reason is this. Worship in Islam is 3 parts. And when you look at the Muslim Ummah, in Nigeria in particular, which I'm familiar with, you will discover that some of us do 1 part. Some are doing 2, and that is the majority. Hardly can you see people doing the 3 parts. In that case, what we should do is to perfect our worship by making sure that we strive hard to do the 3 parts. When we struggle to do the 3 parts, that is the normal, that is the ideal. It's not excellent. It's just the normal thing to do. In other words, if as a Muslim, you do 1/3 of the worship, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not take 1/3. If you do 2/3, remaining 1/3, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not accept 2/3. What is going to accept is the normal complete set. It's a set. The first, second, and the third. Therefore, I would like to appeal to us that we should strive to do all the 3 parts. And when we try to do all the 3 parts, it means that we are aiming at perfecting our worship. And the concluding part of the topic in the invitation lecture is that we want to emulate from the best. And I want to ask you, who is the best among us? Rasulullah. Because that is what Allah says. Allah says, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen Prophet Muhammad as a model, says Muhammad is your role model. Why? Because إِنَّكَ لَعَلَىٰ خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. That is why he's a role model. He is of best behavior, the perfect and the excellent character. And that is why, if he is the role model as introduced to us by Allah, is the one we are going to use as the benchmark in terms of perfecting our worship. Now, of course, followed by the companions who live with him and share with him the joy, the pain, and the fruit of dawah. What I have brought to share with you is that the problem in Nigeria today is to give us a concern as Muslims. If Nigeria has so many problems like insecurity, Kidnapping has now becoming a kind of a limited company. You kidnap and negotiate and so on. They are doing it with impunity, as if it is a registered company. If there is no road, no. I understand there was a serious accident on Ibadan, Lagos, 3 days ago, another one yesterday. So I traveled from Shanghai to Suzhou about 3 months ago in China. From Shanghai to Suzhou, we landed around 12 midnight, and we took a bus from Shanghai to Suzhou. It's like traveling from Lagos to Kano. And from Shanghai to Suzhou, it is about 8 lanes here, 8 here. And the street light will make nonsense of your. You don't have to. You don't have to. So there's no hold up, there's no pothole. You can't have accident. It's very rare. There's to have accident here. And in Nigeria today, you will see that the volume, the population of Muslims, that population is enough to make the country better. If Nigeria is still nursing all the problems we have, it means that we are not impacted on that society. If we are not impacted on the society, it means that we are not practicing Islam. To practice Islam is like what we call a grinder, mill, M-I-L-L. When you put something like beans in the grinder, or onion or pepper, and you operate it, what comes out at the other side is what? Something processed. The stuff of the beans that will come out from the other side is not what you put in. It will be ready for what? For cake. So, if a Muslim actually worship and pass through Islam, he would have been processed. He must come out a different stuff. Meaning that if today in Nigeria, Muslims have not impacted on the society, it means our worship is deficient. Because we ought to have been processed. If we have been processed by worship, it means that we will have become the salt of Nigeria, which will make the rest sweet. You put on the cooker a pot of soup made up of chicken, little bit of shark, little bit of stockfish. The pot is full. The amount of salt you need to make it tasty and nice is on your finger, just little. That little salt will make the soup good. So if Nigeria is 150 people, the million, the number of Muslims you have is enough to make all of them transform. Because that population of Muslims are supposed to serve as what? Little salt you need to put into it and make it good. What is worship? Worship is this. The first part of this is Mani Aslamu Wajiyahu Ilahi Wa Huwa Muhsin. Falahu Ajiruhu Inda Rabbih. That is Baqarah chapter 2 verse 112, I think. Mani Aslamu Wajiyahu Ilallah. That's part 1. Wa Huwa Muhsin. That's part 2. What is part 3? The part 3 is from Prophet Muhammad. Rahimallahu rajulan idha amila amalan an yutikina. Therefore, part 1 is Islam, part 2 is Ihsan, part 3 is Itqan. Those are the 3 parts that make Islam. If you don't cover the 3 parts, you are not worshipping. What's part 1? Part 1 is Salat, Siyam, Zakat, Hajj. All these ibadat constitute part 1. And when you do it with concentration. When you are praying, you must get absorbed. You must find yourself in front of Allah. You must absorbed that you don't remember something else. We are told that when we are praying and we are saying, Atahiyatullah, Zakiyatullah, Assalamu alaikum, when we come to Assalamu alaikum, if actually indeed our mind goes to Prophet Muhammad in Medina, the Prophet will answer you. You say, Assalamu alaikum, are you an Nabi? You say, Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Provided your mind does not travel elsewhere when you are saying it. So we have to get absorbed in our salat. One day, our leader, our Sayyid Ali, had a problem. A broken stone or a broken bottle in his feet. After a few days, it became so painful. And the companions wanted to help him to remove it. Nobody can touch it. It was too painful for him. They reported to Prophet Muhammad. Ali had a problem in the feet, we cannot help him. The Prophet said, what? He said, a broken bottle. The Prophet said, okay. Don't worry, leave him alone. When he started praying, go to him. You will remove it easily, you will not know. Because by the time he was in prayer, he was elsewhere. So he started praying, they went to him and removed it. That is the extent to which he gets absorbed. So when you are praying, for your salah to be effective, you must be involved. You must be absorbed. That is the kind of salah that Allah will accept from us. The salah we do and our mind is with Allah. Then zakat, then hajj, then siyam. Then our salat must not be combined. You see, somebody asked me, if you say our salat must not be combined, what happens when I'm in a meeting or I am traveling? Anytime I travel to Ilorin just about 3 days ago. And when it was time and you are in the car or you are in the plane, you can pray there. How do you pray in the car? How do you pray in the plane? You are in a plane, somebody here, and it is time for salat. What do? You are talking with them, you switch off. For about 5 minutes, you switch off. You cut off from them. You will imagine ablution, you will imagine you come up, you begin to do Raka, Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah, Bihamdi, Subhanallah, Azim, Atayah. You do everything there. Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept it. You have prayed. Because prayer is zikrullah. You can do it there in the vehicle, there in the plane. To say what? To say you have no reason to combine salats. Zuhr and Asr, Maghrib and Isha, and so on and so forth. Anytime it is salat, you must say it, you are required. I'm in the Senate meeting, I go out, Senate meeting. If I cannot go out, then I sit down and I switch off. They ask me a question, they are not talking to me, I switch off. Nobody here or here can talk to me. I am elsewhere. Oh yeah. So we must pray to show Allah that this is the primary, the basic thing we have come to do in this world. That is part 1 of salat, of worship. Salat, siyam, and zakat. Don't forget, the Prophet was doing it in such a way that people ask him, Allah has forgiven you the sins you have committed and the ones you are going to commit futuristically. Why wahala again? After the assurances, the Prophet said, Afala ashkur. Won't I appreciate Allah to whom much is given? Much is accessible. So if they have honored me so much, I must appreciate it. That is our Prophet Muhammad, the model. What is the part 2 of worship? Ihsan. What is it, brothers and sisters? Goodness. To whom? To our parents, to our neighbors, to our relations, to our co-workers. Wa'budullah wa la tushriku bihi shay'an wa bil walidayni ihsana wa bidhil qurbi wal yatama wal masakin wal jari zil qurbi wal jari bil junubi was sahibi bil jadbi wa bil sabili wa malakati aymanukum. So goodness means, excuse me, let me tell you, if your parents are still alive, you are not supposed to enter. No, you are supposed to enter enter Al-Jannah, because you can get Al-Jannah through your parents. In other words, you have to do something fantastic to your parents that will make you happy, and anytime you are in a trouble, you can pray to Allah with it. Say, Allah, I am in trouble. Because of so and so I did to my mother or my father or so did, rescue me. A Muslim should do such a thing. You must be close to your parents. It's a part of worship. You don't ask your parents to pray for you. No! Just make them happy. Do something fantastic for them. If they are still alive, go and be their friend. It's worship. Also, your neighbors, your relations, and so on. In the university as a lecturer, okay, even your students that are under you, do good to them. So goodness is worship. In other words, we must not feel comfortable when somebody close to us is in trouble. Prophet Muhammad said, "It's not a Muslim." Who? He said, "No, it's not a Muslim." But, oh, Prophet of Allah, who is not a Muslim? The Prophet said, "It's not a Muslim." Our Prophet, who is he? Somebody who slept in the evening with his stomach filled up and his neighbor was hungry. He's not a Muslim. So, which means taking care of our neighbors and everybody in terms of ihsan is part 2 of worship. Go and read the Holy Quran. Anytime Allah says, "Ubudullah, worship me," the next thing is ihsan. Goodness to your parents, goodness to your neighbor. That is part 2. Goodness. Goodness in all its ramifications. Goodness to animals. Don't forget goodness to animals. Somebody was traveling, he saw a dog was thirsty, wants to drink water. The man went to the well, he brought out water and gave the dog to drink. Prophet Muhammad said, that man will enter paradise for giving dog water. For giving a dog water to drink, he will enter. That is to show you that goodness, if you are driving and you see on the road broken bottle that can disturb a car, wait and remove it. Because of, as insignificant as it is, maybe because of your entry antenna. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to do. That is part 2 of worship. What's part 3? Part 3 of worship is what the Prophet called al-itqan. What is al-itqan? Rahimallahu rajulan idha amila amalan an yutikinahu. It's called. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we bless him. He who does a job and aims at perfection of the job, does it well. Meaning what? In Nigeria today, there is a statement I've had several times from people. I feel shocked. Someone will say, the salary I receive every month is the fruit, the gain, the benefit of the money my parents invested in my education. In other words, he or she may not have to work. The salary he received from the government is because of the money his parents invested. And now I'm going to say, in the university as a professor, I have paid my due. Nobody can push me now. I have paid my due. So I come to the lecture when I like. Even when there is a timetable, he will come and tell the students, that timetable is their own, not my own. My lecture hour is, let's see, can you see me Wednesday 5 to 7? What is he doing from Monday to Wednesday? He doesn't want to be pushed. Therefore, our Prophet Muhammad is now telling us that, look, the job you are doing to take salary is worship. You use it to please Allah. And that is why I said at the beginning of this presentation that If all Nigerian Muslims know the meaning of worship and they use the 3 parts of worship and they use all of them, there would have been a different story in Nigeria because of our population. If every one of us in the secretariat, in the primary school, secondary school, in the university, poly, everywhere, we use our job as our worship, something we do to please Allah, what will happen? The point is that when you go to the office to work, you do it well to please Allah. Then you see, I am shocked. I was in China, we were 6 from University of Lagos to attend a conference. When we arrived at the airport 12 midnight, there was a guy, a young lady to come and meet us to our hotel and take care of us. We spent 2 weeks. Throughout the period, this lady will come and meet us in the hotel in the morning around 7. And by the time she went home in the evening around 7 or 8, she will look like as if she just had it. She never looked stopped. She never looked tired or fatigued. I said, how can somebody love job so much that by 8 o'clock, if any of us should call her that, Helen, you know, we passed through one market today and I saw something I want to. He said, okay, let's go. She will go back to the car at 8 p.m. They'll take you to that place to buy what you want to buy. So then it occurred to me that this is Islam. You love your job and do it well to please Allah. Once upon a time, I was the education examination officer in my faculty. I was young, I must be lecturer 1 or something, but I was not on campus. I lived at Ilupeju. So one day, I was to conduct exam on a Saturday. I left home. I got to Yaba. It started raining. Before I got to a place called Little Road is very close to Habat Macaulay. It started raining hard and dark. The whole place flooded. My P2 back up in the flood. I came out, I locked it. After some time, I look and say, why am I wasting my time to lock it? If I don't lock it, it come. What will happen to it? I wasted my time. Then I left. Then everything was standstill. No vehicle, no taxi, no okada. And it was pouring. I rushed to the sports center where we are going to do the exam. I got there, I met the students waiting for me and lecturers. Don't tell me what I look like when I got there. That my car used to be the examination secretariat where we kept all the materials. I rushed there, pick it and use. Now the car has packed it up. Then I told my HOD, my car is not available, can you help? So he surrendered his car. We used the car to go to the Senate House, collected the examination materials and came back to the sports center. When we came back, the lecturers started administering the materials. I went to my office to change and came back. What am I saying? What I'm saying is that because it was raining, because my car parked up, the examination must go on. Because I'm not doing it to please those students. There's nothing they can do if I disappear. They will just grumble. Oh, this man didn't come. What kind of nonsense is this? They can say whatever they like. I'm not available. I'm not available. Or when I was on sabbatical leave in last week, and there was a day I was going to give a test. I got to my 2, what do you call the thing that contains water? Radiator busted. So when it busted, I was wanting to hold the water. I parked the car in one petrol station, jumped into downfall, went to Lasso to give the test, and then came back to ask the questions, what is your business or your problem? Now, the busting of the car must not disturb the test. They were waiting for me. We must do our work as if Allah is looking at you. If you don't see Allah, He sees you.
Allah. That is worship. That is activity of worship. And that is what Prophet Muhammad is calling al-itqan.